now that you have your target behavior chosen and defined, we're going to talk about finding the motivation or the function of that behavior. So we engage in every behavior for a reason. The behavior is working for us in some way. So think about it in the simplest terms. You have an itch, so we scratch it. So we've learned that scratching works to relieve the annoying feeling of an itch. Obviously, not every behavior is that easy to find the motivation behind. So this whole guide or course that you're diving into with me is a form of self-reflection. So we are really looking at why are we engaging in this target behavior that we've decided that we don't want to engage in anymore. So we're going to use this information to eventually create a replacement behavior, but we have to know what the motivation and function of the behavior of our target behavior is before we can do that. So I would like you to go ahead and take a couple minutes and think about what happens right before you engage in your target behavior. Think about the last time that you engaged in that target behavior. What happened right before? Did someone yell at you and that led to you yelling? Were you bored? So you got on your phone, whatever your target behavior is, just think about what happened right before you engaged in that behavior the last handful of times or however long you want to think about it for. This is helpful to know so that you can think about, okay, why, when that was happening, and then it led to me engaging in this target behavior as I go through these different functions of behavior, you can kind of pinpoint, oh, maybe that's why I was doing that in that moment. So be ready to self-reflect and really dive deep. So we are going to start with attention. This is the first function of behavior that we'll look at. Gaining attention is commonly looked at as a positive outcome, but the path to getting that attention can be hurtful to you and the person you're attempting to get attention from. Maybe you're yelling to be heard. This then leads to the other person yelling and you both saying things you don't mean. You've received the attention you were wanting, but at what cost? Attention can be positive or negative. You see this often in classrooms. A child has learned that if they engage in hitting, they will gain attention from the teacher, even if that means a child gets in trouble. To us, we might be thinking getting in trouble isn't worth hitting, but for that child, getting attention outweighs the consequence. They got the attention they were wanting. So as you look at your target behavior, investigate and think back to the times you have engaged in your target behavior. So like I was saying, think about those antecedents, the triggers of your target behavior. And you can also think about the outcome of your target behavior. So did you yell and did the person you yelled at engage with you, giving you the desired attention? If that is the case, the motivation behind your behavior is likely attention. Okay, so think about that for a second, and then we're going to dive into escape as a function or motivation behind the behavior. So escape as a function means the target behavior allows you to escape from undesirable activities or feelings. Escape can often feel most comfortable in the moment, but in the long run might lead to avoidance of hard things. So let's think about scrolling through our phones for an example. We have a million things to do on our to-do list, and we choose to sit on the couch and scroll through our phones. After an hour, we realize that, oops, time has passed to tackle anything we needed to do. This might lead to feelings of anxiety and disappointment as our list grows longer and longer. Escape I have seen very often with my clients is when they are engaging in an item such as a tablet and they're asked to stop playing to do a worksheet or other less desirable activities. This then leads to verbal aggression, crying, or even physical aggression. If the consequence of their behavior leads to continued access to the tablet, their target behavior has allowed them to escape. This then leads to them learning that they can engage in that behavior in the future for the same outcome. An example also that helps us escape from our feelings is feeling overwhelmed. When you're feeling overwhelmed, and you might reach for multiple glasses of wine or alcohol of your choice, and then you wake up feeling more overwhelmed than before. In the moment it worked. Maybe you were feeling great during the night, having your glasses of wine, but then you wake up and you feel the things that you escaped from, you're feeling even overwhelmed than you were the night before. Let me be clear, I do not have anything against wine. If you do feel like you want to work on alcohol or your consumption of alcohol, again, I am not a licensed professional in that area. So please reach out to a professional if that is something that you're needing advice on or care for. All right, so that is escape. And then the third one that we'll discuss is automatic reinforcement. So target behaviors that have a function of automatic reinforcement are giving us some kind of internal satisfaction. They have a function of automatic reinforcement. Don't rely on other people, only yourself. Maybe twirling your hair relieves your anxiety, or you've learned that going for a long drive on a nice day with the windows down and music up gives you a feeling of happiness. Internal satisfaction can be a great thing unless you're coming to it in a way that you aren't happy with anymore. Scrolling your phone can give you internal satisfaction with the amount of dopamine that hits our brain, but that might be the target behavior trying to reduce. Does your target behavior give you internal satisfaction? Let's see here. So you can also think in this section of, there's an example that I give. It's not necessarily internal satisfaction, but it alleviates pain in some way. So you can think of the motion of rubbing your temples if you have a headache. If the headache feels better from the rubbing, you'll engage in that behavior next time you have a headache. So you can think of that too as you're thinking about the motivation or function of your behavior. And then the fourth one is access. Access is the last function we'll discuss. When someone is motivated by access, their target behavior allows them to engage with items or activities they desire. So a common example is when a child cries in the store because they want candy or a toy. If the parent gives them the candy or toy, the crying has served its purpose in gaining them access to the desired item. This will most likely lead to them crying, or worse, the next time they want something. Are you looking to cut back on your spending this year? Let's think of the target behavior of spending money on items not on a list. This is a common one I work on with my clients. We all know that moment in a store when we have a list and we see something cute that catches our eye. Target dollar spot comes to mind. Do we need it? Probably not. Somehow it ends up in our cart anyway. Spending the money has ended up with us having access to the item, but now we have an item we don't need and less money in our account. So your target behavior can have more than one function. So if you've connected it to multiple functions, that's okay. You can just really dive deep and think from those examples, why do you think that why you're engaging in that target behavior? You know yourself the best. So you can try to pinpoint, why is this happening? Why am I engaging in this? So yeah, take some time. There's no rush in this. This is self-guided. but really think about what is the function behind your target behavior. And then in our next lesson, we will be deciding what replacement behavior we want to choose for our behavior change program. So I will see you in the next lesson. Thank you.